creatures of the night, let's talk about AEW big business tonight. Did Mercedes Moné become all elite? Yes, she did. We started off the show with a limo coming to the building. A nice Mercedes limo. I'm just looking at that and I'm just like, only a boss can be in that. Now, the door opens, but then they cut to the crowd. The crowd is chanting for Mercedes. And Mercedes actually does come out. And she looks great. Those sunglasses gotta go. The theme music, I do not like it at all. But she looks great. She comes on and she's damn near into tears. The crowd is loving on her and she is so emotional. And it's a really great feel-good moment to see her being in All Elite. Wherever it is that she wants to be, that makes her happy. It doesn't really matter to me. She still has a lot of supporters and fans that is going to watch her wherever she goes. She talks about her childhood and how much she loved pro wrestling growing up and how all that led her to be where she's at in this moment, which is home in AEW. And I really did appreciate that speech that she gave in the beginning. And it showed the graphic on the screen of her being all elite. Now, after this, we do have Samoa Joe with Renee Paquette, and he's basically saying that he's going to kill Wardlow tonight, and that, never forget, Samoa Joe does not lose his titles at the Garden. So that right there was like, I think that puts a really high chance of Samoa Joe actually winning this thing. I mean, who actually was doubting that Samoa Joe would, not win? So here we have Samoa Joe and Wardlow for the opening match, and right before that, we have this video package from the Undisputed Kingdom, and it's Adam Cole with a story time. And I'm just like, oh Lord, Adam Cole, I don't want to see you right now. But guess what? It was a cute little story time thing where they were pretty much telling like a fairy tale about the Undisputed Kingdom and how Wardlow was going to end up winning the gold. Sure, it sounds like a fairy tale, but it actually was really done nicely, and I thought it was really cute. So I really did appreciate that. Now, here comes our opening match, Samoa Joe versus Wardlow for the world title. And it was a really great match. The pacing of it was more on the slower side. You got two really big dudes in the ring. I don't want to say they didn't have chemistry. It's just really two different styles in my opinion. And I think this is the first time they've ever went against each other. So it was really interesting to see that. Obviously with the title on the line, I don't think anybody believed that Wardlow was going to take the win. Both these guys are taped up on their legs or whatnot, the front of their knee, the back of their knees. Wardlow have a brace on that he's been wearing for the past few weeks. These guys may be banged up. I'm guessing. I'm not 100% sure. But it was an interesting match between the two of them. Wardlow showing us a little bit of high flying moves. And I'm thinking, Wardlow, this guy, he has everything it takes to be really great. Unfortunately, Tony Khan is just not doing the best he can with him. Now, we do end up having Samoa Joe taking the win with a coquina clutch. And honestly, I was just very, very surprised. Wardlow was just fading and he was fucking gone by then. And, Samoa Joe takes the win. Now, just when we are celebrating with Samoa Joe, here comes Swerve bursting from the back, going to the ring to go attack Samoa Joe. Prince Nana behind him. They have I don't know how many security guards trying to stop Swerve. Swerve even beats up on some of the security guards, and Swerve makes his way into the ring, and Samoa Joe is just laughing the whole time. And the fact that he's laughing just makes this so funny, because Samoa Joe is not fazed by anyone. No one scares him. He doesn't care who you are, who you think you are. He knows, well, at least he feels that he's unbeatable, so he's not worried about anyone. I love that type of confidence. And Swerve was in the ring with a couple of the security guards since he beat up some of the rest of them. And while Samoa Joe was walking towards the back, some of those security guards are still laid out on the ramp, and he kicks one of them off the ramp onto the ground. It was absolutely funny. Samoa Joe, man, he deserved that title. So before we have our trios action, we do have, I can never forget this man's name, the one that do the interviews with the glasses on. Lord have mercy, he's hardly there, but he there here and there, whatever the situation is. He see the Young Bucks and Okada, and then he gonna go ask Okada, oh, Okada, you just signed to AEW and you rolling around with these pigs? Okay, he didn't say that. That's how I heard it in my head. But really, he's just saying why you rolling around with these dudes here? You know what I mean? And to be honest, I asked myself the same thing when he debuted. However, I get it. I get why they asked him. Now, the Young Bucks, they take offense to this, obviously. And they had their little whatever spiel they were saying about whatever they were talking about. I wasn't caring about what they had to say. I was ready for them to just get off my TV screen. Now, here comes Okada. He was like, oh, it's Matthew's birthday. Say happy birthday. And the dude doing the interview, he says happy birthday to Matt. And then Okada said, sing it. And I was just like, what the way he said it with such command, I was just like, holy shit. And then he started singing it to Matthew. And I was just like, I like that. I think that was fucking smooth. Now, we do go to, I think, commercial break or whatever it was. And then we have trios action, obviously. We have Pac, Penta, and Eddie Kingston versus the Elite, the new Elite that obviously has Okada. The match was great. It was great to see Okada. Okada has so much personality. I don't care about the language barrier. I don't care if he got to take a English class a week or whatever. Let this guy speak. He has a lot of personality, and they need to use him to the best of their ability. Put subtitles on the screen, whatever. He is fucking money. Money. Now, great match. At times I was a little bored here and there, but then we had Eddie Kingston, who's this Triple Crown champion right now, taking a capital L for his team. Okada hits a Rainmaker on him for the win, and then one of the Bucks go and get the Continental title and gives it to Okada. Okada is holding it, and he looks like he wants that title, and he ends up throwing it onto Eddie Kingston. Now, I did see a graphic about Eddie Kingston versus Okada for the titles next week. And that's going to be interesting because, Eddie, you've been boring me since you've been holding these titles. I'm not enjoying it. I do like you, but it's just not enough, especially since you haven't even popped up at Ring of Honor for not even 1 second to defend the titles over there. I'm absolutely bored. Up next, we have a video package of our stepdaddy Christian and Adam Copeland. They will be having their third match against each other in Toronto next week. That's going to be interesting. TNT title on the line. I forgot what type of match they were supposed to be having. Whatever the situation is, it's going to be a slobber knocker, you guys. Now, after this, we do have our bruv, Will Ospreay, who comes out. And the crowd is absolutely loving him. He looks great. The bruv chants were just absolutely amazing. And it just made me feel like, you know what? First of all, this was a really great crowd. And I felt like this is exactly where Will Ospreay needs to be, where he wants to be. This is it. AEW is exactly where he should be. Whether if he go to WWE sometime in the future, who knows? But right now, he's exactly where he wants to be. He says great things about Bryan Danielson and how he's definitely the best wrestler and whatnot. But he's on another level. So, Bryan, you're on notice. It looks like Will Ospreay is letting everyone know that, hey, you might be the best. But when it comes to wrestling, Will Ospreay is on another level that Bryan Danielson can't touch. So we'll see what happens with that match at the Dynasty pay-per-view next month. Forgot what day it is, but another pay-per-view, Lord knows. I don't know. Now, we do have Deonna Purrazzo, who says, Tony Storm, this beef between you and me is not finished. We still got business to take care of, especially with Mariah May as well. Tony Storm and Mariah May, they have tag team action on Rampage of all places this week. And Deonna has herself a partner, and she doesn't say who it is. We don't know who her partner is going to be. But next week, we will get tag team action with Deonna and her partner versus Tony Storm and Mariah May. That's going to be interesting. Now, Darby Allin versus Jay White. What the fuck? Real talk, Darby was one of the new people that I was not familiar with wrestling that kind of sold me on to AEW. Not only was I looking for familiar faces, but I was looking for, wrestlers that I wasn't familiar with that would, I don't know, kind of sell me into being an AEW fan. Now, Darby was one of those guys, and through the years, we've seen Darby going absolutely apeshit in the ring for whatever reason. But you guys know he had that match teaming up with Sting for Sting's retirement match. It was absolutely just brutal. And here he is, less than 2 weeks later, going against Jay White. Jay White, this is his first singles match so far this year. This is criminal. Tony Khan, what is going on? Now, they end up having this match, and Darby comes in there. He's taped up, bandaged up, kinesio tape, all these things. Basically look like a mummy, if you ask me. And he doesn't look great. He really doesn't. Even with the face paint on, you're just like, Darby, go home. Go feed your cats and watch Netflix in bed and just stay there for a little bit. And come back in a couple of months when you're feeling better. Now, this is Darby's last match, according to him, in case if he dies. He's going to be climbing Mount Everest, not sure exactly when. But Darby is he's messed up. He got open wounds and everything. Jay White is ripping up the bandages and pulling out the tape off of him. And you can see exactly how bad of shape that he's in, especially from that match that he had teaming up with Sting. And to be honest, it was a little uncomfortable to watch this. Jay White is just throwing him around like some rag doll, and it just looks horrible. It really does. And we're at the point where it's like, Darby, we love you, but go home. Like, go home and fucking relax. We had Darby take the L for this match, thank God. It just seemed like no matter what Jay did, he just kept getting his ass up and wanted to get an ass whooping. But while that monstrosity was over, we had the Ass Boys come out, and they wanted to get some licks onto Darby Allin, and things went left. So now, the Ass Boys come in, Jay White, they all beating up on Darby. And I'm just like, well, Darby, you've been in this business for a while in AEW, and the only friend you had was Sting, so I don't know who the hell's gonna come out and help you. But then the Acclaimed came out to help, and they were like, hold on. We don't do that. We're the good guys. We don't attack one of our fellow friends. And I'm just like, okay, what's going on here? This is kind of interesting. Now they end up, Anthony Bowens and Max Caster, they end up taking out Darby, and they are walking him towards the bag. And then is pretty much our daddy, Billy. He's in the ring, and he's talking to Jay White. Jay White has the bat that Darby had brought to the ring earlier. Now, Billy is telling him, we don't do this. We're not these type of people, whatever. They was bleeping what they were saying, because obviously there was some curse words or whatever. And then he was going to walk away, and Jay White picked up a chair and attack Daddy Ass. And then here comes the rest of the guys attacking on Daddy Ass. And then meanwhile, the Acclaim are still walking to the back with Darby, and they realize that something ain't right. They look to the back, and then they see Daddy Ass getting his ass whooped. So they was like, Darby, you know what? You can make it to the rest of the way to the back. We're sorry. We got things to do in the ring. They go help Daddy Ass and get their ass whooped too. And now there's no more bang bang scissor game. Let me just say this. The vibe of that was just not it. We knew that they were going to break up at some point, but it was just like, y'all barely did anything together. And now it just feel like kind of out of the blue, the way it happened, it just didn't feel right. It's just like, why can't this have been done in a more creative way? I just don't know. I'm not feeling it. Didn't care for it. Darby Allin had to fend for himself and drag himself up that ramp to go to the back. And oh, wait. They brought him back to the ring. I forgot. They actually brought Darby back to the ring after all that and continued attacking him. And all those guys are just laid out in the ring. I don't see why they had to attack Darby to make it seem like, oh, Darby's going to be gone for a long time, blah, 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 blah. Darby had already said last week that he's going to climb Mount Everest, and if he dies, he dies. And I'm just like, okay, so it was. So y'all just putting a beat down on him so that if he would have died, that y'all have an excuse or something? Like, it really didn't make sense for them to have to continue to beat on Darby. I don't get it. That whole thing kind of just put a damper on the show for the rest of the show for me. I don't even care. Chris Jericho and Hook teaming up. I'm going against the Gates of Agony. Bishop Khan, give me a call. You are just so beautiful. They came out with their, I guess, like clothes that represents their heritage. Bishop Khan being from Ghana, Toby Leona being part Samoan. So it was really cool to see that. I thought it was really great. And then they took off their clothes. Well, it wasn't naked or anything, but they had their wrestling gear on, and it was like Laker colors, and I thought it was cute too. It looked really great. Let me just say this, like the predictability killed it, knowing that what they call him? They called him something, whatever, a lion hook. Oh my God, that's just, you know what? Stupid name, whatever. Match predictable. We did get to see some great things from Gates of Agony, but you guys know Chris Jericho and Hook took the win. And let me say this, okay? How the hell? I mean, Hook is like 110 pounds, locking up a red rum on Bishop Khan, who is like 2 times his size. Come on. His arm is like a Twizzler, like really. And then after the commercial break, Chris Jericho talking about, oh, I seen how you are in the ring, blah, 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 you're great. And then this bitch gonna go and say, how about you and me one-on-one next week? And I said, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. It didn't make sense to me at all. I wasn't feeling it. And then after that, Kyle O'Reilly over there crying back there, talking about he don't know if he can do this shit on his own or whatever. And the Undisputed Kingdom come out and just be like, hey, you know, if you want to do this on your own, you can do this on your own. While he's already over here doubting himself, he's going against Brian Keith on Collision this Saturday, and he's already doubting himself. And I'm thinking, he is either going to ask the Undisputed Kingdom for help, or the Undisputed Kingdom just going to help themselves to help Kyle O'Reilly. I'm over it. Alright, main event is like 7 minutes left of the show, and we're getting a really nice video packet. We got a nice video package of pretty much what happened between Willow and Mercedes when they were in the tournament for the new women's New Japan Openweight Strong title. That was the inaugural tournament where there was going to announce the very first winner of that. Mercedes got injured. She went back in the ring and laid down for the pin because she just didn't want to give up. And Willow ended up ultimately winning that title. Now, they showed all that so people can have a little backstory about what happened in case they didn't know. So now they made a really big deal about this being the main event of the show simply because Mercedes was going to be involved in this. Last week, this match did not hold that type of weight at all. At all. Now, we have this match, and I am in no way body shaming or whatever. But I'm going to say this. Pro wrestling is all about selling. It's all about making your opponent look some type of way, whether it's being the good guy, the bad guy, the strong one, the not so strong one, whatever. Willow is obviously bigger than Riho. Riho is much, much smaller than Willow. I didn't believe not a damn thing I saw. And I'm looking at this, and I know a lot of people too, they're looking at some of these moves where obviously Willow has to help, create that illusion that Riho can actually do these things onto someone who is much bigger than her. And then I'm looking at this and I'm just like, I don't believe it. I'm not convinced that Riho can actually win. Riho is a great wrestler. She's really, really great. But then y'all put her in a ring with someone much bigger than she is and try to make us believe that she can beat her. Like, I'm not convinced. Whatever. And it brings me back to when wrestling, they would have those weight classes, like a lightweight division and the actual heavyweight division, because they're separating by weight classes and things like that. They don't do that obviously anymore. Well, I don't remember seeing any promotions doing that now. But obviously with the women's, they would never do something like that in terms of dividing women based on size in pro wrestling, whatever. The match, like I said, didn't really care for because I'm looking at this and I'm just like, I don't really see how Riho could even win or lose. Half that stuff that they were doing, no way, no fucking way. Now anyway, surprise, surprise, Willow ends up winning the match. I honestly thought she was going to lose. Riho did beat Statlander last week, and I thought Riho was going to end up going for the TBS title and then going back home like she always do every single time. I don't understand why they do this with Riho. But she ended up losing that match. And then Right after that, lights go off. It's our spooky girls, Sky Blue and Julia Hart. They come out and to put the Hurt Business onto Willow Nightingale. And I'm just like, these bitches better not. They better not do what I think they're going to do and have Mercedes come out to help her. And that's exactly what they did. Mercedes come out, put the beat down onto Sky Blue and Julia Hart. And then she's dancing, all this, all that. And I'm just like, oh, okay, you're not going to attack Willow while you're there? Do something. Guys, the show was mid as fuck because everything was predictable. And I'm going to just say this, that Tony Khan as a booker should have took this situation that Mercedes Moné is going to be on this show. What can I do for the people who's never seen my show, for the people who don't watch me? What can I do to keep these people to come back next week? You gave no one no reason to want to watch next week. You didn't give me a reason to want to watch next week. I know that. Well, hold on, wait. Okada is going against Eddie, I think. Maybe that's good enough. But anyway, as a booker, you should have looked at it that way. You should have said, oh, wait a minute, we're going to have some new eyes over here. Let me see if I can get these bitches to come back next week and watch AEW. And you gave us nothing. You gave us predictable shit as usual. You gave us things that we wouldn't even expect WWE to do too. And I'm just like, what can you do to set yourself aside from looking like WWE? Sure, WWE's been around for a long time. They have pretty much created the blueprint of what pro wrestling is, and you see that in every promotion. However, Tony Khan did not think outside the box to give us something different for the fans who always watch, or the casual fans, and the ones who never watched before and just wanted to see Mercedes Moné. You should have gave them a fucking reason to watch the whole fucking 2 hours, and also to come back next week. And it's just like, you really didn't. The predictability on this show kills me sometimes. If I wasn't doing the watch along, I would probably turn the TV off and just watch it later, because it is frustrating. We want to see professional wrestling win, whether it's with AEW, TNA, anything outside of WWE. We want to see those promotions be successful. And Tony Khan has all the tools there. His roster is freaking amazing. My opinion, best roster in pro wrestling. My opinion. He just don't know what to do with them. That's the big issue. And that made the show just mid as fuck. Julia Hart is a TBS champion, getting her ass whipped by Mercedes Moné, and even lost in a pre-show match for a pay-per-view. Like, this is wild. These two girls, when they're together, it's like nothing at all. They look like something, but we get nothing from them. And then when Julia is with the House of Black guys, they look great. She looks amazing with them. They're doing something. They're actually striking terror into AEW. But then when it's just her and Julia, it's nothing. They get their ass whooped. Julia and Sky, you know what? Let me not get into a whole rant about it. I love pro wrestling, you guys. I'm so passionate about it. And sometimes I just feel like, Tony Khan? What the fuck was that? You know what I mean? It's crazy. I don't know what to say. It's mid. If you want to watch it, go ahead and watch it. But thank you for watching my review, though. I'll be back tomorrow with Ring of Honor. And then Saturday, Collision, as usual. See you guys then.